Hello, everyone. That countdown was very short, wasn't it? I almost forgot to hit the go live button after I started it. Never mind. Good evening to you today, Sunday, the 16th of January. 16th of January already. What on earth is going on? Where is this year going away from us? It's P weekend next weekend. I will not buy any Lego. I swear it here now. I will not buy any Lego. But yeah, then we're like almost into February. For those of you who saw my Instagram story yesterday, I've bought my first Easter egg of 2022. Like that, that happened. And for Americans who were curious, we'll talk about this a little bit later because apparently you guys don't get Easter eggs like we do. But yeah, very excited for tonight. It's going to be a very different conversation, but a good one and one I'm excited to have. But before we get into any of that, let's say hello to you guys. First of all, we've got Mr. Brixon. Mr. Brixon, congratulations on your 10,000 follower milestone on TikTok today. Hopefully you'll shut up about it now. Love you really. But no, congratulations, mate. Well overdue, and you've had such a rapid growth, so well done on that. Stevie, it's lovely to have you. I know it's not easy for you to join these streams anymore, so even if you need to duck out at any point, it's nice to have you at the start. But yes, Mr. Brixon, you are here early. Spawn, the man himself, or so we assume. But Spawn, lovely to have you here with us as well. Hello, it's Will. Hey, Will from TikTok. Nice to have you here. Joe, as always, a former guest. Good to have you here too. And yes, James, and you too. The OG crew is here. And most importantly, we have our guest here, Mr. Cy O'Connor, who I will bring out in just a minute. But very excited for that one. But look, whether you're tuning in live or you're watching this back, this is the weekly placeholder where I tell you, look, if you're used to content on TikTok, obviously it's a little bit more playful, it's a little bit more family friendly. Here, we're not going to make a point of doing it, but you know what? Just given that you've got a couple of earfuls, the conversation could be a little bit more adult themed. Who knows? It's just a warning and just a note to say, look, things might be foul language, it might just be a little bit more mature content in the kind of the level of conversation we'll go to, but we'll see. It's just your noting on that. And as we have the Book of Boba Fett running at the minute, and we're bang in the middle of that series, we may talk about that. And if that happens, I'll flash this spoiler warning up for you. So it's your opportunity to mute the screen. And then as soon as we stop talking about it, I'll take it off. We may or may not talk about it from there. But look, let's just, and thank you, Will, for the love of the streams. Nerds just want to have fun. They do. I have my cuppa and ready. No Jack Daniels tonight, Brixon. Maybe that. I feel like that was me. I feel like I drove you to the drink and you had to leave to address your alcohol problem. I hope that wasn't the case. But yeah, without further ado, I will introduce you to tonight's guest if you are not familiar with him already. He is very well established Lego YouTuber. With over 11,000 subs now, which is growing by the day. Even more so, what I can absolutely personally testify for myself is he has a fantastic Lego YouTube community. That's for sure. And if you ever kind of partake or join any of his streams, they're very noisy. Great conversation in the chat. Brixon, I can say for sure you would love to observe that. He has a good following on Twitter. I think is his predominant, maybe that or Instagram is his predominant secondary social media. He's on Instagram, and he's recently took the leap into TikTok as well. So there's a lot to talk about from a Lego and a social media stream. But without further ado, I give you our guest tonight, Mr. Cy O'Connor. Good evening, Cy.
Good evening. How's it going? Are you well?
It's going well. By the way, everyone, love it or hate it, what do we think? Do we keep the Opie-Verse title up there, or does it look dog shit? Let me know, and we'll change it if we need to. But how are you, Cy? How's your day? How's your weekend? How's your week? And do you know what? How has your 2022 so far been?
The week has been great. Just usual kind of stuff that you do. The weekend, same, just arsing around. 2022, didn't even notice it happened because it was the same as last year. But we got new sets. We got new sets, so everyone's happy about that. Although when I went to Smith's on the 1st of January, I did a vlog. I was excited. Got there into the car park. I was like, it's a bit empty. Got to the front door a little bit early. I was like, okay, they don't open on New Year's Day, so I didn't get. I got no new sets on New Year's Day. Rubbish.
Well,
Nothing.
well, I mean, that's rubbish.
Yep.
So I wondered how quick we'd get into this, but I feel like what this leads us to is, so you've said you went to Smith's. The reason you go to Smith's is because there's no Lego stores in Ireland, right? So
Zero.
So that sucks. And guys, I think like there is a bit of a quiet campaign going on that we need to make that happen. But what I'm interested in, and I did a little bit of research on this earlier on. So there is an online Ireland Lego store, but it's online only. Do you buy from there, or do you take a bit of a protest and be like, well, no, I'm going to spend my money elsewhere where I can walk into a shop and buy it?
No, with the shop at home, the online shop. Obviously, I have to. If I want anything, I have to buy from there. I wouldn't. I mean, it's not. It's. I wouldn't take. I don't take offense that they haven't got a shop here. I do think it's a bit weird that they have. Like, obviously, I'm the only person in Ireland I know that does a Lego YouTube channel, apart from Mad About Lego, who are in the north of Ireland. But I've been looking, and there's no one does it, you know, to a scale that I do. I've got loads of friends in America, and I hang out with them on their live streams, and you know, friends with Ryan from M&O Productions and people like that. So, and I've been looking because I'm out there in the community, and no one's doing it. But even if I know everyone tells me, oh, we've got a Lego store, we've got a Lego store, and I know in the UK, for instance, there are places that might have 3 Lego stores within like a short drive or a walk. But it's weird that they don't have one in the north of Ireland, which is, you know, part of the UK.
Yeah,
you know, that would be handy for me. I could just drive 2-hour drive probably, but still, the experience of getting there would be good. But yeah, it's sad. I buy from the Lego shop online not as often as I would go into Smith's, because there's exclusives on the shop at home. So the battle pack, or not the battle packs, the blister packs, the accessory packs, the Star Wars ones, can't get them here. If I wanted to buy one, I'd have to pay €11 for delivery. Whereas you can go into the shop and pick one up and just walk out of the shop. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It is. It is indeed. It's a good job you've got friends in the UK, and within, you know, walking distance or driving distance of 3 Lego stores. That is a blessing. But that's all relative, right? Because in America, their nearest Lego store quite often is an hour and a half, 2 hours away. Whereas, like, for me, I've probably got 3 within 2-hour drive. But you know, it is what it is. But it sucks. But we won't dwell on the negatives, because you know you make the best of it. But so you didn't get it on New Year's Day. So did you go back to Smith's on the 2nd?
Yeah. I didn't do a vlog. I just kind of did an update. But yeah, I went back on the 2nd, and the good thing about it is, like, I mean, all of our friends in America, they some of them didn't get anything, and there's a really bad delay in deliveries and stuff. I went in the next day, and the shelves were full. It was, I'll have that, and I'll have that, and yeah, it's too much. I actually got overwhelmed, and I went in, I forgot what I wanted to buy. But yeah, I went back the next day, got what I wanted, and then you kind of get in this frenzy when it's release day, and you're like, oh my god, I have to get there. Oh my god, I have to get this. And especially when you make videos, and then once the 2nd or the 3rd day comes, it's like, okay, I don't need to go nuts now. I'll just get, because I don't know about you. You're probably the same. I'm continuously chasing sets from last year or the year before. So it's really hard, because I collect everything from City to Star Wars to you know, Ninjago, everything. So the Ninjago sets are hard because they come with the season of TV show, and the short, it's a really short shelf life, and you know, it's quite hard to keep up with those. But the gold minifigures were the ones to get, I think, last year. That was quite important.
I mean, that must be tough, because that's a benefit for me, right? So 95% of my collection is Star Wars. I have a very small but slightly ever growing Marvel collection, so Carnage is up there. I've got the Infinity Gauntlet, and I've got Brothor. That's it.
Yeah.
But then obviously release day, and the first of January is a big release day across a lot of themes. I know from Brixton, I know it's the new modular release day, and then modulars aren't cheap. So, and if you're a city collector, which we can see over your shoulder, you are, like that's it could, you could quite easily go out and spend, well, it depends on how hard you wanted to go, but you could quite easily go and push like £1,000 on Lego if you really wanted to.
Yeah, you could spend £1,000 on Star Wars by buying 2 sets, right?
Yeah.
You could spend £1,000 on loads of city sets. And the thing is, like, I mean, nobody has the space to get all the sets we want and open them, display them, and, you know, because you're going to have to take down some of the sets you really, really like. But I got a storage unit for Lego. So, yeah, nutbag. It was my wife's idea. She said, "Why don't we get a storage unit?" And I was like, oh, "Okay." And then the fear was like, "Oh my god, what if it turns into Storage Wars?" And, you know, eventually, you know, what happens if somebody finds it? They'd be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! It'd be worth half what I paid for it. It's brilliant." But yeah. But
that'd be brilliant. Yeah, it's gonna go and turn it up on a TV show and like going to bid on yourself on your own collection. I've considered that in the past, and there's a guy called Bricks on Toast who he's kind of disappeared from Lego TikTok a little bit, but he still kind of exists, and he generally buys to collect. He seems to be working towards some sort of store, and he moved into a storage unit. And I thought, is it worth it? I mean, storage units, I don't know what they're like in Ireland, but they're certainly not cheap here. But then I always think of like the weather, like, because they can get those things aren't heated, so in the winter months they get pretty cold, and Lego doesn't like the cold. So
that's what I was worried about as well, because I know in America they have heating and they have conditions. And I was thinking to myself recently, oh my god, like what will happen to the boxes? But I have them in brown boxes that I got from Argos, so hopefully they'll be okay. But yeah, I it's a bit scary to think, like, you know what I mean? Because they could, like, I purposely don't have Lego boxes on top of Lego boxes. They're on, you know, they're standing up vertically, and there's nothing on top, so they're not going to buckle. And if they do buckle a bit, I don't care. But I do collect the boxes as well. Yes, I know it adds to the problem, but I don't care.
No, you. So I don't just keep the boxes. I keep. So I was actually doing this live on TikTok yesterday morning. I keep the boxes, which I flat pack, depending on the box. Some of the, like, if it was like the Death Star behind you there, I wouldn't flat pack that. The UCS sets, I wouldn't flat pack. But I keep the spare parts that come from that. I put them in their own bag, and I keep it with that set. I don't put them in the bin. I then I keep the bags from that set with them, and I keep the instructions in there, and I keep even the sticker sheet with the stickers taken off and applied. I keep all of that. So basically everything left over from that set, exactly that. So everything goes into typically a big sandwich Ziploc bag. And
why is that? Is that because in your mind then it's still a complete set 100% right down to the bags?
So pretty much, yeah. And I just think resell value, like, I think by doing that, it keeps it at the absolute peak. Now, look, I'm not particularly looking to sell anything. There's probably 1 or 2 bits I might think, okay, I'll move them on, but I'm not desperate to sell anything. But when the time comes and you're kind of moving things around or moving things on, the way I look at it from a buyer's perspective, if somebody has all of that and they show that they've kept all of that, it gives me a little bit more confidence in the Lego itself. And it just, so I'm kind of, it's, you know, you're going to strain every last penny out of it. So yeah, and I hate throwing anything away.
Well, I used to do that. I used to keep the cape boxes. I used to keep the plastic bags. I used to keep the little bit you cut off and I put it in. And then I just because I've OCD, so like I'm very kind of like not uptight, but I'm kind of, there's a word that people use beginning with A, and I don't like using that word because it sounds weird.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, very anal," and I'm like, "What?" But anyway, I stopped doing that. I just took a stand and I throw away the clear bags. I throw away the spent sticker sheets now. Even still, I'm training myself to do it. When it goes into the bin, I'm kind of looking at it going, "Well, I take it back out." But no, I mean, Lorraine is great. She's the wife. She's in the chat there, and she, would say to me, "You don't need them. Like, what are you going to do with the empty bags and the empty boxes? Are you going to put the cake back in? No. Are you going to resell it? No. But what do you need it for? You're right." And like the wives are usually right. Am I right?
No, yeah. They are right. They are right. Yeah. I do that though. So I keep the cake boxes and everything. I just think
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, Liam. I mean, that's, if people can do whatever they want. If they want to throw away their boxes, cool. If they want to burn them, fine. It's their property. Do what you want.
True. There's a guy, I don't know if he's around tonight. Give us a shout if you are. But Jedi Bricks, he and I, so he's an American. He and I quite often kind of have this debate because he did a video where he literally just, I think it was a UC, I'm sure it was the R2D2, which is there. He built it, emptied the box, literally walked outside and threw it in a shredder. And I was like, what are you doing, like, for that set? Like, couldn't believe it. And he's like, I don't, like, why would I keep the box? It takes space. Why do I need the box? But I think, if you're ever hunting down a retired set, you pay more when the box is there. So I think it is that way. But yeah, it is. And I agree. I have the same OCD. I 100% do. I literally throw nothing away. But,
I even have empathy for the graphic designers because, like, I do you know what I mean? Because I think to myself, they've worked so hard, they've done a great job, and I like to look at them. And like people have said to me, "Oh, you actually go and you actually look at the boxes." I do. Like, some of the stuff, it's like a library. Do you know what I mean? I would actually pick up a sealed set, whether it's sealed or not, like, and I pick it up. I'll just show you something actually here. If I don't pull this computer down, hang on a sec. So, for instance, I have this one here, which I like to look at, and everyone like to look at this, and it's a
that is a glossy box.
Set. Aren't they really glossy? Like the quality.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's nice to be able to remember what the box looked like as well. And of course, Deadpool lived in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the boxes.
I love them. So interestingly, it's kind of come out today, and Brixton, please tag Sai in that video that you tagged me in if you can still find it. But there's a bit of a TikTok trend going on at the minute where somebody is saying, what story can you tell about a company that you used to work for that you couldn't tell when you worked there? And there's a former Lego employee who stitches it and tells a couple of stories. And one of the stories is like the boxes are designed like not to be kept. They're designed to just be put, like, I think the question, so he did the original response and somebody asked the question, why the boxes now basically designed to fall apart with the thumb tabs on, like, why can I not keep them? He said, because they're not designed to be kept. Like, Lego do not want you to keep the boxes. They don't even want you keeping stuff from that set, like the spare parts. Like, everything should just go into your Lego bin, in a big bin, and it's that kind of creative side of it. But everything means different to different people, right? So
yeah, it makes sense if they want to encourage people to recycle them. But like, I always like, if it has thumb tabs. Does this one? Yeah, this one has. This is quite old actually. So it has thumb tabs, but I use a knife just to glide the knife. I glide the knife under the glue.
Yeah, I do exactly the same. You and I,
we think alike, yeah.
Yeah, we are. We do. I do exactly the same.
Don't slide it under the thumb tabs because that can be dodgy.
Yeah.
Do it on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, well, I do it on the thumb tab side as well. If I flat pack it, because you have to open both sides, fold it in. But as I say, that's only for a select few. Yeah, this is like OCD therapy group now, isn't it? Lego OCD therapy. But I'm totally with you on that. So question is, the Death Star, I know that's like, that was your pride and joy, and that was your one to get. Is that sealed? Have you built that? Because I don't think I've ever seen the actual Death Star.
No, like the story was, I decided, I think it was, I don't know if it was it was one of my, it was an early live stream anyway, and I thought it'd be great to live stream the Death Star. And it's enormous, and bag one has about 7 bags, and the space I have here is about, well, I don't usually build here, I usually just stream from here, but the space here is about 42 inches in total. So like, it was just impossible. So I started building it, and then I said, okay, I'll have to build it downstairs, and I was building it over time. I was just taking my time with it, and then Christmas came. So the Death Star wasn't finished, and it sat on the Christmas table with us and had Christmas dinner with us, which was great. And then January, this is last year, not this year, by the way, well, 2020, right? Christmas 2020. And then it stayed on the table through January. I think we hung around for Valentine's Day, and it was romantic. And then I think it stuck around for Easter. But by this stage, the kids had started to put like other bits of Lego into it. So there was a Friends pink kind of doormat was on it. There was a minifigure just hanging out, and I was like, oh god, I better. And it wasn't finished. It took about 4 or 5 months for me to finish it because I went so slowly, but I finished it, and it lives now over that area there. But yeah, I never did a video on it because 1.5 million people have done videos on it. So yeah. I'll have to do a video on it, just my own take, give it a room tour, MTV style, and yeah, just throw it out there. But that's not sealed, no.
Lego cribs, I like it.
Lego cribs, yeah.
So this is getting a bit weird now, Si, but just a sec. So let me just show you.
I'll say hi to Lorraine, and I'll just say to, who was that? Somebody was looking to see if I am on TikTok. I am. And so yeah, go on.
So this is my Death Star that has been like this since September. In September, it went from basically this layer here, so this, and then it was like that from probably the September beforehand. So it's been like, so this is an 18-month project. It's not that one, it's the 10188, the right. Kind of the original. But I bought it it was bought secondhand, yeah. And it has been the absolute being of my life. But it's same, it sat from September through till last week on our kitchen table, and then moved to the bench. And then my wife was like, look, we've got people coming over, I need the bench, move it. So yeah,
that's hilarious.
I hate the thing, but it's that thing whereby it's because I bought it secondhand. Parts of it were glued, so I had to figure out what was glued, what went in the bin, what wasn't, and then I've replaced it. And then as I work through, because it's so massive, I couldn't kind of muster the strength to figure out everything that was there and everything that was missing. So I thought, right, I'll go layer by layer, and I've moved on to the next layer, and straight away, there's like some parts that are missing that I don't have spares. So I've just like, come on, I give up.
That's a proper project rather than a build, really, isn't it?
It is, and I'm not in the game for that. So it's it's tough. So it's just out of shot, but my UCS Sandcrawler, that was like my dream set. I always wanted that because I love the Sandcrawler. And I bought that secondhand, but it was 100% complete. It was fine. I did a lot more due diligence on it. And then, but it was partially broken down, but because it was so heavy in Technic, I basically had to fully break it down and rebuild it. But everything's like reddish brown. So it took forever. But that was a fun build. The Death Star, not so much.
I missed out on the UCS Sandcrawler. I got the smaller one, the smaller, most recent one, which is fine because I think they both look good, to be honest. But the UCS one is just amazing, really, really impressive. I remember Johnny Vegas, who is a big AFOL.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a UK comedian, if anyone doesn't know him. Johnny Vegas, hilarious guy, but he's a big Lego fan. And I remember he had a picture of himself going into the Leicester Square shop, and he was like, he had it in his hand, and he was like, on his Instagram, should I buy it? And I sent back a message. It must have been about 40 minutes after. Yes, buy it. It's awesome. So he sent back a message saying, I bought it. And I was, oh, it's cool. You have to show us a picture when it's finished, like joking, like. And obviously there was no reply afterwards. So about 4 months afterwards, I just sent a message. Hey, did you build your UCS Sandcrawler? And he sent back a picture of it built on display in his house. I was like, oh my God, yeah. But he was on as a guest on Lego Masters UK. I think it was the first series, the first season. But yeah, he's big into Lego.
I never knew that.
He's married to an Irish. Cool. He's married to an Irish writer, an Irish entertainer. She's very well known as well, and they have a kid. They're separated, but the little kid is mad into Lego as well.
Nice. I suppose if your dad was, you would likely be as a young kid. Yeah. So that's absolutely cool. That's cool. I think he's touring soon. I mean, a lot of them are touring because they haven't been able to. But yeah, I'm sure I saw he's touring and performing near me soon. So I might think, oh, well, that's a good heckle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Show us your Lego. Do you want to come and play Lego with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I think
Go on.
I was just going to say from like your perspective and obviously the platform you've built, he'd be like he's an aspirational guest to have on sometime. Like if you could ever get him on.
Yeah, I have put the feelers out for kind of like famous people, but I don't know. A lot of the time, a lot of the replies I have, you have to go through their media companies or their managers. Yeah. And I did manage to get nearly all of the Lego Masters USA Series 1 on as guests. So Flynn and Richard and Jessica and Mel, nearly all of them came on, and there was Jessica was not the hardest one, but she finished near the end, so she was third, I think, and so I had to go through a media manager, and everything was fine. They looked for the link, looked at some of the live streams, and they said, yeah, okay. And she was so funny. But she's a really, really cool artist as well. So yeah, check her out if you haven't. But totally different person.
The kind of like pin-up style girl with like the tattoos and the black hair.
She had she had the bows in her hair and the kind of girly look, and she was with her partner was a guy who was on the show. They made it look like he was being mean to her at the very start.
Right.
Jessica, her name is. But when she came on, she was totally different. Like she had like really outrageous lipstick, and she was a totally different person than we looked at on the show. Really nice person, and I do hope to get her on again because she was such a laugh. She was really funny.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool to get that. I know from, because I think and I won't name names because they'll kill me, but there are a couple of the Lego TikTokers in the US who are going through the process for the next series.
Yeah.
So it'd be pretty cool if that happens, and potentially we can link them up, but and tap into them. But I'm not as familiar with the US one.
Well, Moto, I'm sure you've heard of Moto.
Yes. Yeah.
So Moto was a friend of ours before he went on to Lego Masters, and we kind of sussed him out well before. And we're like, oh, so you're gonna be on Lego Masters? He's like, no, nothing to say, no. And I think I know some of the people you're talking about as well there. So yeah. Although one of them was very vocal about it, I was like, shut up, don't be saying it. Because Fox are very, if they hear any word you've let it out, you're out the door.
Yeah, I understand that to be the case. I know that people are talking about it behind the scenes, and that's why I'll keep it quiet in that respect. But that would be cool to have them on and obviously support them through that journey. Would you ever fancy it going on that? Does that kind of lend to your passion of Lego, or?
Realistically, no. I'd love to go in it, yeah, but not as a builder. I'm not a mock builder.
No.
2 reasons. One, I literally don't have the talent. Anyone who builds mocks, they've great talent. You could teach yourself to mock over time, but I don't have that time. I don't have to do for it. I like to buy Lego, build. I'm like Emmett from the Lego movie. I like to build, open it, build, use the instructions, and then play with it, display it, whatever. But I modify all of the buildings I buy. So like I've modified these inside. So like I tell this story all the time. So the detective's office, I've put a toilet. There's a toilet in it, but I've left some poo poo, or you can put wee wee in. So so no one has flushed the toilet. I took away the fire escape in the middle, and I've put like a balcony in because the fire escape was just a waste of space. And I like to put beds and TVs and stuff in as well. So I wouldn't go in it because I just wouldn't be any good in it really. I'd like to come on as a kind of a if they got people on to talk about the sets, what do you think about this mock or whatever, to come on doing that. But like, you'd have to be really famous, and well known to do that. But I don't know. I want the UK one to come back because, one, I don't know why they got rid of it, and two, I liked that whole model of it, and I think maybe the children on it possibly took away from what it could have been. Although having the children on it was very British, and Lego, as people think, is only for kids, although it's not. It's for anybody, and we prove that on a daily basis. So I love the show. I wouldn't go on it, no. What about you? Although I do know I have friends who have been contacted out of the blue and asked, would you like to join the show? And they're like, well, we don't make mocks. And they were like, well, come and try anyway. And then another friend of mine called Brickstage Pass, his name is Craig. You've met him, you know him. And he was contacted by them. And he was like, okay. And they said, yeah, would you like be interested? He said, I would. I'd love to come on. I live in the UK, though. And they were like, oh, sorry about that. So I don't know who does the research for, contacting people, but they seem to just fire emails everywhere.
So what I understand is that a couple of people I know who have been contacted in the US get contacted from an individual rather than from like a Lego Masters page. So then they're all a bit like suspicious around are they or aren't they? But then it seems to be somewhat legit. But yeah, it seems to be through Instagram rather than through email and stuff like that. But I suppose it's an easy way to contact people. It's an easy way to find people and all that. But yeah, I'm with you. I literally build things to the instruction. Like I am not creative. Like I like to play around with it probably in a bit of a different way. I don't leave things in the toilet. I don't think any of my sets actually have toilets, but I like to scene build rather than anything else. But at the minute, my sets are not set up in such a way that allow me to do that, because everything's kind of more display ways. But yeah, I'm definitely not for me. And I'm the same. Like those who not so much mock build, but build like Lego cities, always like amaze me how they do it and how they look at building it. If they look so cool, I think they're brilliant for social media, because even like non-Lego fans can really appreciate like the creativity that's gone into it. But yeah, it's not for me. I think I obsess. It's not that I don't have the ability to do it. I'd obsess far too much to the other way that I don't think it would ever land. Like I'd never look at it and think, like, yeah, that's it. I've done it now. Like that's what it is. I would always say, oh no, I just want to do that, and I can't go down that path for sure. But what's your peak theme then? Is Star Wars your peak theme, or modulars, or?
Do you know, I don't have one, but when I look at what I've bought on Brickset or a place like that, Marvel and Star Wars are the sets I've bought more of than anything else. I love the Star Wars movies. I love the whole Star Wars universe. But I've never read the comics or the books or anything, so I don't know. I don't know all the lore stuff that you'd know, or some of the people I have on my show or whatever. Because seriously, they could spend ages talking about different things, and I'm like going, "What are you talking about?" But to me, it's Lego Star Wars. That's kind of where I'd get like the best fun out of them. I watch all of the animated shows, so like you've got Drum Tales and stuff like this. I love all those Lego things because you're able to see your sets in those things. So, I have that. That's cool. Or you could get like different ideas of what to do with them. Marvel I've always liked Marvel. I love the movies, and the sets are just absolutely amazing. So I think they might be my two main themes. But and the same minifigures is how I got into Lego, really, because um, we were out shopping in Tesco, and I wasn't into Lego, and we had at the time two kids, and we're just walking along the kind of pots and pans aisle in Tesco, and at the end of the aisle they had this kind of end cap, and it was Series 11. So it looked really impressive, and we went down. The kids were like, "Oh, what are these?" And I said, "I don't know." So we had a look, and there were minifigures, CMF series, Lego minifigures. So Lorraine was like, "So what do you do?" I said, "Well, they're blind bags. You just look what you get." And so the kids wanted some, and Lorraine said, "What do we do with the leftover ones?" And I said, "Well, I could have them. I could, in my head, I was like, whoa!" So that's why I got into them. Like the doubles went up onto the mantelpiece, and then we went back the next week to get more because the kids were really into them, and we got more doubles on purpose because I was feeling the bag at this stage, going, you could just feel what they are. So the mantelpiece got full over a few months, and then that kind of spilled down onto the where the TV is, and that kind of got worse and worse. And then I started looking on the Lego website, and then I found display cases. So the display cases multiplied, and so it went from minifigures to sets because I wanted the Flash minifigure, and he came in a set. Batman set. So went to Argos, went in, got it, came out, and Lorraine was like, "That's a set." And I was like, "Yeah, but the Flash is in it." She was like, "I thought you don't collect sets." And I was like, "I know, but this is the only one I'll be buying." So like 850 sets I have now.
It's just a couple then. Just a couple.
Just
when was that then? Series 11? What was that? About 5-6 years ago?
No, that was 2012-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, so close enough, Liam. Yeah. So it was the one with the gingerbread man. And
10 years.
10 years, yeah.
I mean, it's a good. That's how they get you, though, isn't it? They suck you in. I think they definitely know what they are. Are you collecting the? Is it Series 23 that's out now? Then was it 22? Are you collecting them?
Yeah. Because I wanted them on day one on January 1st, but the shops are closed. Had to wait to get them. And I mean the last two before that were quite rare and hard to get in Europe anyway because of the lockdowns. Everybody wanted them, and you could buy them online, and they weren't being sent to the shops because the shops couldn't receive deliveries and stuff. So they're quite rare and hard to get, and I nearly missed out on a lot of those, but luckily I was able to get. I haven't opened them. I'm saving them for a video, so hopefully I have all of them or some of them. Sometimes it's detrimental to wait for a video to open them.
Indeed. I was laughing because obviously it is a skill. The bag feeling. Some are easy. I found the Marvel CMF really simple because they were so different. There was a couple that were very similar, but there were specifics you could feel out. But what I was laughing on, there was a leaked box layout for this CMF series of if you buy the box, if you get a brand new box and you're able to open it in the store. Here's how they lay out the figures within the box. So, and then somebody was doing a video on putting that to the test, and I was like, where does it end? Like those
videos are extremely helpful because when they brought out the series, oh my god, which one was that? I can't remember which one was with the policeman. So the policeman was the rarest one. I think it was only one or two in a box. But if you were able to open up the box in the store, you knew it was on the left-hand side. I think it was the second last one. But because I'm friendly with like the people in the shops that I go to, I went in one day and I said, "Can I? Mind if I just open this?" They were like, "Oh yes." They cut the sellotape, and I was like, "I want this, and I took like the last five and the first row, and took like I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into the middle row, and they were like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I know where they are." They were like, "How do you know?" And I was like, "Oh, tricks of the trade and all this," but got them all easily.
So it's legit, and so they do stack them in a certain way.
Yeah.
Well,
now I have seen people, the bandmates ones. For me, it worked. I knew which ones were where. I bought a box of them, and then for some other people, they bought 2 boxes, and they were all messed up and random. So I don't know if that was an American thing or what, because that was around the pandemic time as well. So America was messed up when it came to Lego during the pandemic, because the Mexican factory shut down. So all of our friends in America were like scrambling around trying to find Lego.
Yeah, Lego.com in the US was just out of stock, like everything was out of stock. So yeah, I remember when the restock started to happen, and they were scrambling over the top of each other to get stuff. But yeah, funny Gibbs. It seems that we're kind of getting somewhat back to normal in stock levels, though, which is good. How much attention do you pay to things going forward? So, like, especially on Instagram, Lego leaks, Lego rumors, and all that, and they're heavily. And I know the reason I ask this is because I know from a TV perspective and a movie perspective, you don't watch trailers because you don't want anything spoiled for you. So, do you try and avoid like leaks and rumors from a Lego perspective?
Weirdly, no. I embrace them. I embrace the leakers. For two reasons. One, I like to be surprised when it comes to movies and TVs. So, what was the last one? The Book of Boba Fett, for instance, I didn't watch any trailers on that whatsoever. So the first one, I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Oh my god, that's so cool. Whereas a lot of people were going, oh, the first one was a bit rubbish, and I was like, but you knew what was going to happen. I didn't. So like when this happened, I was like, and that's right. Same as Spider-Man. I didn't watch any trailers for that, and I was like, whoa, still wasn't one of my top ones, but that's a different story. When it comes to Lego, I do seek out the information, because when I started, I used to do a lot of news videos, and then as time went on, I still wouldn't mind getting into LAN. So you have to be careful what you do, because if you're a leaker or anything, you just won't get in. But what I do is I do what everyone else who's in LAN, like Ash and Flash. He'll make sure that everything is above board and you can report on it. And that's what I do now, although I don't do as much news as I used to. And I think it's because of the circle of friends I'm in. Everyone does news, and I have to kind of get out of that frame of mind that, it's been done already. But that's like 7 people that I know, and there's millions of people who are into what we're into. So we'll get back into the news thing. I have a few plans for it, so we'll see what happens in the future.
So with what, because I'm the other way. So I love a trailer, but I jumped on the bandwagon with all the leaks and stuff, but at the same time, I don't think I like it, because there's not much surprise anymore. Like, everybody's just like, when are they releasing this set? Like, when are they just going to tell us about this set? So it's not like because the year before with the cantina kind of came out of nowhere a little bit, and that was really cool. Whereas they don't seem to release anything. I suppose the blister packs were a little bit, but I do like a little surprise every now and then. But looking forward, because it feels like everything, certainly from a Star Wars perspective, has been leaked for this year. Is there anything particularly you're looking forward to from what we know, what we're getting?
You see, I hear about so much so far in advance from different places and sources that once you hear it, it goes out of your head, and you're like, oh, I forgot about that. And then you see it in the shop, you're like, what would be coming? That would be okay. So the Uncharted rumor is false. That's not happening. Apparently, the Uncharted sets were created by Lego and a member of LAN as some sort of plan to make a fool of the leakers. Apparently, so here, so. Uncharted, unfortunately, at the moment, from what I hear, isn't happening. Lego Overwatch isn't happening because Lego are not going to get involved with Blizzard because of the alleged stuff that's going on. Is it alleged or alleged? I don't know. So that's
Is this the alleged toxic work environment? Is it?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, I was looking forward to those, and they would have been cool, but not going to happen. There are... Well, I tell you, stuff that I don't get over here as well because we don't have build a minifigure walls. The new stuff that's going to be in the Lego stores. So like, there's a whole load of new torsos and everything else.
Yeah.
As far as stuff goes, minifigure who the night it says the next licensed CMF. We're hearing it's not going to be Marvel, which is weird.
So have you seen the thing in the last 48 hours? We knew we were getting we knew we were getting the Muppets.
The Muppets, yeah.
But have you seen the box art has been leaked? I
saw the packaging, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they look really good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they do. They do. I think they're doing really well with the licensable stuff. They're doing a lot better than they once did, and it's a great time for it. So the minifig who I will, because that was talked about so much, I will assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, I will take your question around that as like who we might get next, who we don't know about. But yeah, were they talking about another Marvel set? Because I would have been surprised if they'd done a second Marvel CMF so close to the last one.
Yeah, I think people were trying to work out when the next Marvel one would come, and they don't know if it's going to even happen this year or whatever. So yeah, I thought it would have been a bit quick, but Lego Batman movie minifigures, they kind of came quickly after the other ones. So the first ones and then the second one came pretty quickly. But I don't know what the next one is going to be. Obviously, we heard loads that it's going to be Star Wars. But again, they're saying that's not happening. Lego Star Wars CMS would be so cool. They'd be awesome.
Yeah, they would. Like, if they ever do that, people would buy the boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a lot more. And I know they did that with the Marvel ones, but absolutely with the Star Wars ones, because one day they would be worth a fortune, depending on who they put in, of course. But yeah, and there's still this whole debate, apparently, which is no longer a debate, but it still is unconfirmed whether they can sell the Star Wars figures as individuals. Someone says they can, but then who knows? I don't even know if it was ever kind of mentioned from a credible source that they couldn't. Yeah. I don't know if Lego themselves ever said that, but yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool.
Because I know Ryan from M&O Productions has done many videos on this, and eventually we kind of all figured out, well, hang on, they're giving individual minifigures away with the magazines, but you're buying the magazine and getting a free individual minifigure for free. So what's the difference between selling a minifigure and, giving one away? Because there's no way that those magazines cost. Well, over here, it's like nearly €10 for the magazine. So if I was, the way I weigh it, yeah, it's craziness. Yeah. It's like $7.50, and then sometimes it's like $8.50, or sometimes it's like $4. I think there was a Minecraft one, which was like about $4.50, but you got a pig, Steve, and a zombie and a magazine. I was like, why is it not the same price every week? It is in the UK. It's printed on the bloody thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sheesh. So,
yeah.
Jeez.
But I mean,
so they did go up here in the new year. So the Star Wars ones have gone up to £4.25 from $3.99. We can live with that. But yeah, that's a hike and a half. That. Yeah. You may as well save your money up and jump on the ferry and go across to.
I know. Well, I do. I'm hinting a lot at Immediate Media to send them to me so I can review them. So we'll see what happens there. I'm sure everyone in the world is doing the same thing.
Well, you've got the platform to do it, though, to make it worthwhile. So why not? But yeah I think, yes. That is the question, and I suppose there's probably stuff to it where if the problem is they don't talk, right? Lego don't come out and address these things. They just do things, and then everybody goes in uproar, and then they never really respond to things. But from what I understand is the minifigures that we get in the foil bags tend to be. They're not particular misprints, but they kind of haven't passed quality check or for whatever reason, and they because they tend to be linked to current or very recently retired sets, and that's what I understand. Right. But that I don't know how true that is. But it was a nice way for us to get Cloud City Luke. if
I
not
know.
more.
I got about 4 of them.
Yeah, they just kept releasing it.
Yeah.
Everybody jumped on it. It was
I
like,
have
yeah, this
those.
is brilliant.
I got them for people like in different countries as well.
Mhm.
Um,
Funnily enough, I have one for somebody who's in America because he didn't. I don't know if he didn't get one in Bespin Duel or if he wants one particularly in the foil bag to keep because they are kind of worth keeping as well.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, the other thing about them, I I know there was talk as well saying that Lego can't make or can't sell individual Lego minifigures because then they'd be classed as action figures, and Hasbro or
Mhm.
Mattel or somebody has that license. But
Yeah,
Funko do release individual
Mhm.
figures, but they're not posable. They're like just like a statue. So I think that's how they get away with that
Right.
as well.
Who knows? I mean, they did it quite recently with the 20th anniversary for Obi-Wan Kenobi, but the talk was that they got special permission to do it as a one-off and all that. But who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows? The problem is we don't get much of an answer on that.
Sure.
But yeah, nonetheless, it would be pretty cool to get those. Outside of that, though, it seems that they're kind of exploring whole new worlds. I mean, Disney owns so much, right? And the Disney Lego CMF kind of go hand in hand. They're perfect partnership. So if you scroll through Disney Plus, I'm sure you could find something and they'll do it. But
absolutely. I mean, then see even older kind of shows that could do like that would work well with kind of the young ones and the older as well, like Doc McStuffins. And
I thought you meant like the young ones, as in like Rick Meal and.
Oh, that'd be amazing! Could you imagine?
I don't know how you'd fill a full set, but yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, there's loads of characters in that you could throw in, like all their friends. You've got what was his? Oh, I can't even remember their names. Spud was one of them. Spud, I can't remember.
Spud, yeah. Then Hedgehog.
Hedgehog's the guy I'm trying to think of. Yeah.
I haven't watched the one forever.
It's so good, and then Bottom as well. You could kind of have the two mixed into one CMF. Oh god, that would never sell. I'd buy it.
Yeah, definitely not in America. It would be a very selective audience, but yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's definite opportunity, and they love it, and it's a good way. I think the licensable stuff is really good for Lego because what it does is it brings people from that franchise into Lego, and then they kind of stick around and start buying other stuff, as you did with one of their ranges in that sense. But yeah, we'll see on the Lego League stuff though. What do we know about? What do we think we know about? I should see it, but apparently we're getting a new Yoda Dagobah set, which I didn't think the last hut was that old, but apparently it's going to be an 18 plus set, more of a display one, which makes me think, will we get a new Obi-Wan's hut as a display set with the Kenobi series? We'll see from there. Oh, hey Zian, good evening. Yeah, it makes me think, will we get something like that? Because the two will go hand in hand. But yeah, what else are we getting? Luke's Landspeeder UCS, the ultimate main set. Apparently so. But I think there's a £500 or a $500 UCS set that's been earmarked for a summer release that hasn't been leaked. It's just kind of been said that that's the set, that's how much it's going to cost, but we don't know what it's going to be. Do you have any of the UCS sets? I know obviously the Death Star is officially a UCS set, but do you have any of the other ones?
No, that's the only one that kind of grabbed me, that I thought was displayable for me, that I really wanted. I do like the A-Wing. I think that's a pretty cool one. But no, they kind of aren't really for me. I if I was going to buy something for that much money, I'd be going towards the Daily Bugle or Marvel kind of way, because I don't have the display ability, and I don't want to put something like that just straight into a storage unit in the hope, like in 4 or 5 years we move and I can get like an iceberg house where I have 3 levels below and 3 levels up, and do you know what I mean? Or even a full Lego room. But no, I'm kind of more the buildings, and even I don't even buy the cars. I love Speed Champions, but I rarely buy Speed Champions. But at the moment, what's out at the moment UCS wise? I suppose the Batmobile would be, if it was to go
But
feasible, would be
Tumblr,
that way. Yeah.
yeah, I know Zian Block Studios did a recent review of his. That is a really cool set. Are you not tempted by the AT-AT Falcon Star Destroyer?
There's two. They're the two that I definitely think I might get because they're expensive. But I mean, to get them, it's not that hard. If you wanted to, well, I'm not saying, oh, like we're not rich. None of us are rich. Just because we're on YouTube and we have Lego sets, we're not rich. But you could put 25 quid a week or every 2 weeks onto a Smith's gift card and save, and you'd have it like
Yeah.
what, in a year and a half, 2 years. They're going nowhere yet. But the Falcon and the AT-AT would be the two that are out now. I'd probably go for.
So I've heard that the Falcon is starting to retire around Europe. I've heard that it has retired in Germany. And that's kind of what made me rush out and buy that. So that's, I mean, it's no secret. I haven't put it on the video what it is, but it is. And Kia DDK, there you go. That's what it is. It is the Falcon. I'm just waiting for the Wicked Brick stand to come for it. But yeah, I panic bought because I thought, but I did well actually, because on the 1st of January in the UK, Lego revised a load of prices and the Falcon went up 50 quid. So it went from 650 to 700. So yeah, and I totally get that. It can be a standard size. And I do have the Earwing as well, which has retired, but is still available in Smiths, certainly in the UK. So it's a good set in that respect. So yeah, Si, 10 years ago, you bought those CMF figs, and then you're here now. At what point did you pick up the camera and start your YouTube journey?
Wow.
Greg's in the house, by the way.
Hey, Greg. How's it going?
Hey, Greg.
About 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I can't exactly remember what year. I'll have to look it up because I'm rubbish. Greg will tell you I'm rubbish with dates and remembering things. But I still watch, and through things I've become friends with Greg from Brickitect, and he always used to tell his viewers, if you want to start a Lego YouTube channel or any YouTube channel, just go and do it. No excuses. Pick up the camera and go and do it. And I've been toying with the idea for ages. So I said to Lorraine, like my wife, who is a big supporter, she said, yeah, do it. I mean, if no one watches, no one watches. But she was like, over time, people will watch. That's how everyone gets started. And I was like, okay. So I started doing it, and it was going better than I thought, because I got a good few subscribers in a few months, and we're in lockdown, so it helped. A lot of people were at home, and it was doing well. And then I started getting recommendations for different things. So I knew that Mike from the Cool Factor, who used to be with Brick Vault, he started up his own channel, so I started watching him, and that's how I met Greg from London Bridge Bricks. I was in the chat, and I'd never taken part in chats before, so I was just like, hey, cool set, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then this person with a blue wrench said hello to me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. What have I done? And he was like, hey, mate, how's it going? Do you have a YouTube channel? I was like, yeah, I do. So we got friendly through that. And then Greg asked me to be a guest in his live stream, which is called London Calling. It's on a Friday, 7:30.
It's a good show.
And
it's a good show.
Good show, very good show. And from there, I kind of got the feel of what it was like to be involved in live streams. And Greg was like, why don't you start your own? Why don't you do it? And I was like, oh, I don't know, worried that no one would turn up. But because I'd been taking part in his live stream for so long, a lot of people knew who I was. So the first live stream I did was part of the 72-hour Lego live stream, which is a thing that takes place every year. And it was the first one I did, and it was a really big success. So I left it for a little while, and then I started off my own show on a Thursday, which is 8:00 on Thursdays, if you don't know. And Liam has been a guest, and it was a really successful one, loads of views, did really well. And everyone loved Liam because he's a great host. And so from then on, it's all Greg's fault. He got me into it from there. But I never, you get nervous when you're going to do your live stream. It's different to doing a video because you're talking to people, and people are there, and it's live and stuff. But you just kind of have to just not care once you get on air and enjoy it, because that's what it's all about. You're entertaining the people who are watching, and they are here for you and your personality. So
It's it's, I find it the other way, but we were talking about this very briefly. So TikTok offered a really good testing ground for me. I remember going live my first time on TikTok, and it was like a bit of a thing, but I'm so comfortable with it. So when I came over to YouTube, I was really comfortable with it. But the whole production of making a video on YouTube is like, geez, like the hours that have to go into a 10-minute video is brutal. But yeah, I think what's more amazing when I look at like the journey I had last year of thinking, right, okay, I've built up a decent foundation on TikTok. Let's try and kind of spread this out, and let's try and build a following elsewhere. But what you have done brilliantly is YouTube is your core, your main platform, and then you have Twitter, which I know you use. You have Instagram that you use, but your following on them is kind of here, but your YouTube following is up here. So you've absolutely built up this following within YouTube. So plain and simple, like how do you do that? Like, is it, and because a lot of people over the last couple of years, and you seem to have gone earlier on that than others with the kind of the COVID and pandemic and all that, you got in there very early and kind of established that growth, hit that growth. But
yeah,
the mechanics of it, how what did you feel was the kind of the keys to success in really building that community where you're now sat here with like over 11,000 subs?
Yeah. So easy answer is shorts and the pandemic. So I'm an early adapter, adopter or adapter. I don't know if you adopt, you're adopting kids. Adapter, let's go with that one. So basically, when shorts came along, myself and Greg were looking at, from London Bridge, we're looking at shorts, and we're like, what is this, and why would people watch them? Okay, so we started experimenting, and the first person that I ever knew who did well on shorts is a YouTuber called Chris. His channel's Brick Studios, and literally, Chris knows himself. It was a fluke. He made this video. Shorts wasn't announced, and it's literally him on his couch, just facing down with Lego Mario in his hand, and it was pretty much dying, and he was just waffling on, going, "Oh yeah, my mom's gone to get the batteries for it. Oh my god!" And that was it. Like, and he had a blanket on his legs, and just the fireplace was in. It was crap, and Chris knows that it wasn't a good video, but he hit the jackpot, and he got like his views went up, and his the subscribers went up, and before we knew it, he had 500,000 views on this thing, and we were like. What? And then the next thing we know, he had like 2,000 subscribers, and we were like, what? So myself and Greg experimented the hell out of this, and we made loads of different videos, and a lot of our friends made videos as well, and a lot of people took it a step further and made like full on like videos, good editing. One of the guys, Jazz from Brick Studios, he has an AT-AT, and basically he has it like in the snow in his garden, and like at the time when shorts was new, you were getting thousands, hundreds of thousands of views if you're making a good video. So what I did was I set out to make a viral video. So I looked at Chris's video and I said to myself, I'm going to do that, but do it a different way. So I just took Mario apart, and then the video started, and I just put them all together and turned them on, and from that video was like 6 million views just on one video. Yeah. But shorts to an extent is brilliant, but it does, it gives you a different audience we've worked out, because YouTube don't tell you any of this. So our shorts views usually come from Asia and South America when I look at my analytics. And then your normal full long videos, it seems like a lot of those people never watch.
Yeah.
So it doesn't translate over. But we've used it to an advantage that like you supplement your short with your videos, and it works out that way. So I mean, realistically, we don't always get the views we want on a proper YouTube video. So try out a short, balance it up. 2,000 views, thanks very much, versus 400 views or sometimes 200 views. It's not about the views. For me, I'm making videos because I like it and I want to. And the idea was to kind of have a little video library of the sets that I bought. But the live streaming helped a lot. And that's where, a lot of the subscribers that I have come and they'll watch on a Thursday. So we could have anything from 30 to 50 to 60 viewers in a live stream in one day, which is pretty impressive. I mean, if you were a musician, you'd love to have 50 or 60 people, coming to see you. Personality as well, I don't hold back. This is me. I'm waffling now, and this is what I do in real life. So hello. And that's just the way it is. If you're going to be here or on TV or the radio, entertain, engage with the people. Like, I mean, we're talking to blokes having a chat. Like, you've been on mine, which is a different show altogether. So I'm constantly talking to the chat and this, and we're two blokes like we're hanging out having a pint. So it's a different atmosphere here. And I know that on your TikTok or whatever, you're always answering people, and I see you're always chatting to people, and it's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's a very different platform, is TikTok, and that's why I kind of brought this here, because I wanted it. I try and engage the chat as much as we can, and kind of encourage questions and bring those in as we need to. And guys, that's your cue. If you have any questions, of course, bring them in. But yeah, it allows for a little bit more of a chilled vibe, whereas TikTok, it's not as bad now as it once was, but yeah, it used to just be like, and then like people asking the kind of same questions over again. It was just, it was very rampant, but at the same time, it's kind of the nature of TikTok, and with what it is. So it's horses for courses in all that regards. But yeah, I think it's mega impressive. And I've seen that, a lot of my following on here, my subscribers, is predominantly from that shorts kind of following, but at the same time doesn't kind of transpose into views. But that's cool, because you end up with different pots of followers, and people are following you for different things and all that. But it's tough.
I mean, that's what myself and Greg have said to like some of the people we know who have like, oh, what are you doing shorts for? Why would you? Like, it's something dirty, and it's not. It's a product that has been invented by YouTube for people to use. So why not use a new product? If you're an early adapter, you get benefits. But as far as like Twitter goes, I try to use Twitter. It for what we do, I don't think it's that much of a benefit. You can actually upload videos onto Twitter, which I'm going to do a lot more of, I think, because I did get a lot. Last time I did one, I got a lot of followers on Twitter. Instagram, for me, I love making videos over there on Reels, because all the editing is just there, and you can use stickers, and you can use, the music is not copywritten, which is stupid from YouTube. I mean, YouTube have a library of music videos, but they copyright strike you. But I think for people, especially creators, they should come up with some sort of, even if it's a small fee paying thing, where we pay a little bit and then we can use whatever music. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Every time I make a TikTok that I then post into Reels and then Shorts, I know straight away it's going to be copywritten claim. But I don't mind it too much, because for me, when I look at the monetization ticks, I have the tick for subscribers, which is good, but the Shorts don't count towards your watched hours for monetization. And right now it's 4,000 hours. So it feels, I know people are achieving it, but it feels somewhat unattainable for kind of what I can give this right now. So I can't, and that's fine, because it's allowed me to take the pressure off myself and just think, look, like, you're not going to hit that. Just enjoy it and focus elsewhere. But yeah, it feels like they're shooting themselves in the foot, and they've totally done it to react to Instagram Reels, and even more so TikTok, because TikTok is just a beast at the minute, but it doesn't know what it wants to be, so it's trying to be everything.
Well, the thing I've stopped caring about copyright strikes and shorts, because one, you don't earn any money from shorts unless you are given money from the shorts fund, which is like the TikTok creator fund. There's $100 million that's there to give away, but that's not an awful lot, because there's like hundreds of millions of people probably billions of people who use them. And all they do, I mean, even if you make a short, they give you an opportunity to use music, and you can choose anything from any band or singer, and you put in your short, and then you publish it, and then it says, "Not this video cannot be monetized," and you're like, "What? You gave me an option to use music, and then you take away but you don't make money from shorts." Just so.
Isn't that for the shorts fund is by invite only as well?
Something like that, yeah. So you have to be big, Mr. Beast or somebody.
Yeah, that's it's not for me in that regard. So, but you know, like the even TikTok, I suppose, unless you're hundreds of thousands of followers, even millions of followers, then it starts to change the world. But yeah, it's just tops up my Lego fund every kind of 3 to 6 months. I'll take money out and go and buy £100 set. But it's not doing great in that sense. But I know you've started to dabble in TikTok. You've had some fun with it. How are you finding it? I know you've said in the past you would love to give it more attention. Do you have plans for it?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to attack it hard. Because again, it's fun to make TikToks. Anytime you say that to people who haven't used TikTok for what we use it for Lego or hobbies and stuff, they're like, "Oh my god, it's just for us dancing around." Yeah, it is. But there's Lego community there. There's just loads of different communities, and there's the most bonkers live streams I've ever seen in my life. Like, I didn't know that if you tap on a live stream, I let the phone fall the other day, and I kind of accidentally swiped up, and another live stream was there. I was like, "Hey, you could just scroll through live streams," and then I found this person dressed like this, with kind of bat ears and hands, eating things and screaming and shouting. I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And it's just mad stuff over there. But I did find somebody. I can't remember if it was you. Somebody stitched something, and I can't remember the woman's name. It's Brick Girl or Lil Brick Girl or something. Anyway, and I was watching her for a while, and the difference between females streaming on TikTok to YouTube, as far as the chat goes, is completely different. The harassment they get over there, it's sickening. Whereas on YouTube, it's not a done thing, and if someone does it, the moderator just blocks them. But I was shocked, like, and every female on the live streams like, "You're so pretty," and twerk and this, and I'm like, lads, I didn't get involved. I wasn't going to start typing stuff, because then they come at you. But I was like, this is not good, because this person, I can't remember her name. It was Lil Brick Girl or Lil Lego Girl. She's a woman, and she was building the UCS shuttle, but she does Star Wars stuff as well. You've probably seen her, and if it wasn't you, it was one of Brick's one of the stud buds stitched something. Anyway, she was trying her best to build this thing, and you could see the frustration. One, that like some of the parts wouldn't go together, and then secondly, she had all this harassment, and I was like, how do you do it? Like, I mean, that's just, it doesn't happen on YouTube.
Yeah, that's quite a funny thing, because what ends up happening is, so the more successful or the more active your live is, what it'll do is it'll start actually pushing your live out to the FYP. So you're not just seeing videos, you're seeing people's live streams. And then, so what will happen is, and you know when it's happened, because all of a sudden your live comments or your community, the people who are very respectful, very, great to interact with, and then all of a sudden you just get like really random people coming in. And I've personally haven't suffered from it too much, but you get people who, like, you tend to get trends of comments in TikTok lives. So about a year ago, everybody was dropping into TikTok. There were people just going around live saying, "What are your pronouns? What are your pronouns?" And you're like, all right, okay. So you would then spend like every 15 minutes, you'd be saying like, "Yeah, he, him." And then it's just to the point where you're like, look, why are we asking? Like, you don't even care. Like, they don't ever respond. And then it's just that sort of thing happens. At the minute, what's really nice is you're getting a bit of a circulation of gifters, people who just come around and just drop like a rose in. I mean, it's not really worth much. It's worth like 2 or 3 pence, but it's nice that they come in and say like, look, this is just spreading some love and all that. So it's a bit of a weird place, but yes, it is at the same time. it is a very different place for an adult white man as it is for a kind of adult or woman of any age, realistically, on there. And it sadly that's the truth. But it tends to be not from their community. It tends to be as their lives do well, it pushes it out to a wider audience, and they come in, and then people are just. It feels like on TikTok people can hide a lot more, and you only have to look at people's usernames on TikTok, which are all kinds of weird and wonderful things. But at the same place, it is a very magical place. Just the thing that TikTok doesn't. They are trying to be everything, so they really try to just kind of do everything. And I right now. I seem to be the only person I know that has it, but like Twitch. So, and a bit like with YouTube, where people can pay a monthly subscription, and then through that monthly subscription, that supports the host, but then it gives them a little badge to say that they subscribe monthly. In the lives, they can drop emotes that I've made, and then they're the only ones that can do it. And then I can switch the chat to subscriber only chat, and the only person that I know can do that. But that is very competitive of Twitch. And what they've also done is launch mobile gaming. So quite often you might see, Si, when you go on when you're flicking through lives, you get a lot of people who are playing like Warzone or Fortnite, and that'll be the bottom of the screen is the game, and then the top third of the screen is the player in like their camera. So they're doing that as well. So they're really trying to be everything.
And on TikTok,
thank you, Greg.
Do you, when you're doing a live, do you do it from your phone?
From my phone, yeah.
You personally, yeah.
Yeah. So this is another thing they're moving towards, because what really kills it and where YouTube is really superior is dual cameras, to have the ability to show my face and show the build. That's what people want to see. So if I'm on TikTok and I'm doing a live and my phone's like that, if people see it like show us the build, then I've got to like pick my phone up and tell it all around. Now, do you know Epic Bricks? Nate? So he was streaming gameplay on TikTok, like I said there, where he was using dual cameras, using OBS. And he then used OBS to set up a different layout and all of that. And I was thinking, oh, well, if you use an OBS, then you can use dual cameras, and you could do that with a build. But I've never seen anybody do that yet. But the way to do it, you have to like plug in a third party between that acts as the bridge between TikTok and then OBS. And I thought, I can't really be bothered with that. But they are starting to roll out now where they let you share your stream key, and you can plug your stream key directly from TikTok into OBS. But it's very early days. And from what I also understand, they're also building their own version of OBS, and they're trialing that with some creators. The thing is, what they do is, they just kind of almost like do this like scattergun approach, where they have this new feature. They'll test it within like a very small community, which is their test community. And then they just go like, there you go, have that. And it just land. Whoever gets it is just lucky. So everybody's dancing around with all these different features, and everybody's like, oh, well, I want that. I've got this, but I don't really want it, and I can't use it. But I want that. So they're really figuring out where they go. But if and when they get that ability to do dual cameras, the question then is, do I want to go elsewhere? Because it's so easy to do everything, especially as a viewer. It's so easy to interact on TikTok. It's so easy to hit the follow button. So easy to type. It's so easy to donate. Now, obviously, that's what TikTok want, because they take a hell of a cut of your donations. But yeah.
So two things. One, I don't think I answered the question, and secondly, I'll come back and answer the question. Your job now is just remember this, but where is TikTok now? Is it more entertainment or lip sync dancing? So you think about that, and I'll answer the question.
Okay.
Because and I just rambled. So where TikTok? I started TikTok a year ago-ish, I think, and what I did was I just uploaded that short that did really well on YouTube. I put it onto TikTok. It was the first TikTok I ever did, and I got over 100,000 views. First video, and I thought, wow, that's cool. So Lego Mario seems to be the key if you're making shorts, or anything, people just go nuts for it. So obviously I didn't want to be the Lego Mario guy, so I do different things on TikTok. I never do what you guys do because I just don't have the balls for it. Not yet. I will eventually do some of the things you guys. Matt's dance is just classic. I look forward to that every day. In a way, I don't want it to go viral. Does that mean he'll stop?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So I like watching it, and then I like watching all the other people try to do it. I am going to do my version of a Matt dance. I just need more room. You're one with pretended to be the wife, hilarious. But I'm just dipping my toe in the water and seeing what'll stick, basically. So if you have a look at my TikTok, it's random stuff. It's like, well, and I'm learning as well. Like, I mean, learning about the filters that are there and what music goes well. I didn't know there were music trends. I didn't know you could save sounds. I was like, what's all this? So I'm still playing with it. I am still playing with it. Same as Reels. I'm playing with Reels a lot as well. And I'm having fun with it. My daughter has like 14,000 followers on TikTok. She's got at least one video that's got 1 million views, so she's quite happy over there. And yeah, I mean, you know, one thing that we found hilarious was helicopter. So I do want to use that. I think that's just nuts. And the videos people have made with that, like, nothing to do with helicopters. I mean, she did it the other day, and it's BTS, and one of them is just wiggling his leg around, so she put helicopter over it. So there's some really cool things I've seen. I'm gonna Legoify it, and it's the time to do these things. So it's YouTube is the most work. I mean, YouTube is the hardest work with the most little amount of video payoff. The live streams are great because you have friends there. They're not just subscribers, they're friends. They're here every week. So I mean, that is the kind of home for me. But yeah, I want to play more with those other places. I hear allegedly Twitter are completely revamping everything, and they want to combine YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram into one place. I don't even know if it's a viable thing anymore. So they need to do something.
It's interesting, that, isn't it? Because the problem, what you then have is, if everybody's doing the same thing, people are going to pick a lane and stay in it. Whereas what's kind of worked well up until now is, and I think this is where TikTok have absolutely changed the game. Twitter was very kind of the written word, with kind of the threads were really cool. Then you've got Instagram, which was very visual. The videos were a certain thing, but very visual in pictures, and then the stories were very useful. YouTube was this big thing, and then even early days TikTok was that kind of like just enhancement of Vine, really. But TikTok have then kind of really pushed their boundaries. Instagram have reacted to them. YouTube's reacted to them. Like, everybody's just kind of pushing around. But everybody's just becoming the same thing. So then what that means is people are just going to pick one and stick with it. Who wins that battle? We don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, we'll say it's Twitter is I have a Twitter account, but I only recently set up and I don't use it. But the one thing I always see is, whenever you see Twitter mentioned in a comment section, people are always like, "Oh, does Twitter still exist? Do people still go on Twitter?" But then it feels really active at the same time. It's really good for trailers. It's really good for leaks. So it feels like everything comes out on Twitter first.
It's like Facebook. People still say it's Facebook. I used Facebook when it came out first, and it was cool. And now I don't know if they've too many options on Facebook, and you know, it's just another thing to look after. Then, do you know what I mean? It's like, because there's people over there who'd follow you, and they want you to put videos and stuff there on YouTube, or you know, some of the times, you know, I've got an automatic push to Facebook, but it doesn't put links in. So then you have to go over there and put links in. If people given out from 6 months ago, put links in, and you're like, I didn't know there was no links. But Facebook, it's just too much. Twitter could be better. And I mean, I think that the two now that younger people associate with older people, you know, I don't know if there's value in doing anything with the two places. But tell me about TikTok. Has TikTok now become something where it's, because I was talking to my daughter about this the other day, and she said basically it's not what it used to be. One, I'm happy about because it's somewhere for us to go to. But secondly, I like the entertainment side of it, and oh yummy. When I got there first, I was thinking to myself, it's just going to be girls dancing around bikinis and lip syncing.
It's fantastic. I must admit, it's but yeah, it is that as well.
I discovered that. I mean, there's a really, like, I mean, I know it's not real, but there's the time traveler, and I think some of those kind of things are interesting. This guy, and he's a time traveler apparently from the year 2520, and like every now and then he'll say, oh, the world will experience this and all. It's just interesting to see those kind of things that people have thought about what could be popular, and they throw it out there. There's Forrest, whatever his name is, who does the cars. Hey, what's up, guys? Behind me is the new Corvette, blah, blah, blah. Did you ever see him? An American guy talks about.
So
he's brilliant.
So this is the thing with TikTok, right? And this is where it's brilliant, because what it does is, especially as a creator, it pushes you into your niche. So if you're creating on there, you really need to establish who you are and your niche, and you need to keep that as tight as possible. And then you can broaden out a little bit. So I am predominantly Lego, but I've really started to broaden out the Star Wars and Marvel content lately, because it's all connected through Lego. But I can't stumble out too far. But what that means is, what it shows me is very much within my niche. My wife has a TikTok account, but doesn't post anything. She's just a viewer. And she'll see things, and she's like, have you seen that on TikTok? And I'm like, nope, don't even know. She's like, I follow this person. They've got like 20 million followers. They go viral 3 times a day. And I'm like, never heard of them. Never, ever heard of them. And that's the absolute beauty of it. So to answer your question around, is it dancing girls in bikinis, or is it more informative stuff? The answer is yes. It is both, and it's wherever you find yourself. Now, as a creator, and even as a follower, even like who you're following will dictate that. And the more time you spend on there, the more they're interacting with certain niches, the more it will kind of push you into that way. And that is the beauty of TikTok. So yeah, there's all sorts on of it. There's just it's kind of, to your point around kind of exploring it and giving more time. What I would say is the ability to go live, which you will get at 1,000 followers, really changes the game for you, because going live, it's crazy. You'll go live for an hour and a half, 2 hours, right? And you'll just interact. You build. It's great for building little sets of Lego. So that's my mantra going forward. Anything I can build within 3 hours, I will build on TikTok Live. Anything I need to split into multiples, I'll build and create a series on YouTube. You go live for an hour and a half, 2 hours, even up to 3 hours. You'll come off and you've got like 100, 200 new followers, because once TikTok wants you to go live, and when you go live, it starts pushing your videos out. So videos that you kind of had no attention, they get a real push. But what you need to do is, even if it's one video a day, you need to start posting a video a day, ideally 3. And what I do is so I've come back to doing that. I didn't do it for a long time as I focused on my Instagram and my YouTube, but I was always getting my 1 video a day out. Now I've gone back to 3 videos a day. And straight away I've gained like 5,000 followers already this year. So like that's kind of how quick it happens. But yeah, it's just I try and split it, where I'll do one video which is like a trend video, another one that's like an informative video, and then another one that's pretty much like a response video to somebody's question. And I just try and balance things out.
Yeah.
But it's always the trend videos, which is typically me dressing up as my wife. And for anybody who hasn't seen those videos, I don't go full cosplay. It's just put a pair of purple shorts on my head and pretend to have hair.
That's so funny.
But they are the easiest to make. And to your point around, you know, bringing Lego into it, that's the real fun part for me. When you see like a dancing girl on the FYP who's doing a trend, And you think like that has got nothing to do with Lego. It has nothing to do with Star Wars. But to be able to take, because it tends to be using song lyrics or a quote, the sound of a quote from a movie, and to be able to spin that and be able to replay it into a Lego trend is brilliant. And my best ever one of those, it wasn't even as my wife, it was the Carl Pilkington, like, I fucking hate it here. Like that sound and that like got us like my best ever thing, and it just absolutely boomed my videos. So like I think it's just it's that. But yeah, my biggest tip would be when you are ready to commit and think, right, I am on the TikTok grind, minimum 1 video a day, ideally 3. And it's tough, and that's where you then kind of see, okay, I have to dial other things down to create that time to do it.
Yeah. True. Greg says Twitter's great for info finding, but hard to grow. But he keeps plugging away at it, and we do that every Thursday and Friday. We use it to kind of advertise our shows, and I do see it's about 1% on the analytics show Twitter, all right. Greg uses it all the time. Like he's really good at using it. I sometimes I forget it's even there. But again, I think videos on Twitter are helping a lot more. Because it did have these things, I think they're called fleets, and you could actually upload a video, and now they've kind of incorporated that into a tweet, so you can add a little video, which I mean, it sounds like nothing, but it's genius. It's really good. But those dancing girls, bikinis and stuff, like, literally not taking anything away from them. Does that sound weird? But I said it now, so I'll stick to it. But if you look at the dances they do, they're not just bouncing around. No. The dances are complicated. If you actually watch the dance, they're complicated, and some of the editing that some of them do. I was showing Lorraine the other day. This girl Gabby Murray, I think her name is. She's all over Instagram and all over TikTok, and she does dancing and stuff. But she uses all these apps, and the editing is just unbelievable. And I think she used to work in Robin Baskin's or some ice cream place originally, and then blew up and just ditched that and became rich and famous.
It's absolutely changed people's lives. Like and for like you use that example there of that short of just like pointing at a blanket, but it's crazy because Matt Mellish and I speak quite often about this, and Matt's doing some great stuff at the minute where I think he's shooting a lot of his videos, certainly the planned ones, using his DSLR, so it's more produced content.
Yeah.
But we have a bit of a theory that, especially on TikTok, there is such a thing as overproduced, because people what always lands really well is that kind of in the moment, somebody just whipping the phone up and kind of talking to the camera, and then they always do so well. But Matt is a student of this game, and he gives it so much thought, and he does even his Santa Claus stuff that he did over Christmas with the advent calendars. They were so well produced, and they really boosted his reels and his Instagram presence.
Well, I've used those videos, those advent calendar videos, as an example before of amazing production in such a tiny amount of time. Like the amount of information he got in on those little advent calendar videos, and they were entertaining. He is a little bit of a genius in that aspect, and it's micro editing, really. It's not just edit, it's micro editing. It's really good. He's definitely, I'm not saying because I know him. If I didn't know him, I'd still say the same thing. But he's got, a little bit of a gift for that kind of thing. And the ideas he has are they're bonkers, and they're brilliant. Like the Matt dance and policeman Matt, and
so Officer Matt and Private Detective Matt are brilliant. But then you look at Ethan as well, Ethan the Artisan. He is absolutely boomed by doing his because he is a brilliant mock builder. Like he doesn't. He buys a set and just empties all the bags he buys a set for the parts, and he talks about that quite often in Studbuds, and that gives me panic attacks because I'm like, what? So, but his whole today I built something out of Lego in 10 minutes, I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. That like changed his game and just propelled. He was always up there, but he propelled him and got him to the first Lego TikToker to get 1 million subscribers, 1 million followers. But again, you know, as he's grown that, his production values changed. He's got really creative with that. And I look at that and think, wow, like it's so simple. Like the formula is there. I have the equipment to do that. But the hours that take to do, and that's the thing. I mean, Ethan's got to a point where he produces one video a day, or sometimes even every other day. Matt is like still grinding out 2 or 3 videos at a time, and I don't know how he does it. But yeah, it's an art for sure. But then, you know, you just have to kind of find your lane and have fun. That's always the thing. Have fun with it. You've got people like, I always pigeonhole myself. I'm not a Lego purist, so I'm not like Matt and Ethan where they build cool stuff. Like, I'm just not going to do that. I'm more in the Zane Block Studios, people like Preston Bills, who's joined us this year. You know, that AFOL kind of like family man, kind of almost like the POV, or when, like, you know, as I say, like when my wife, or, you know, making that fun of like what it's like and making kind of skits of it in that comedy side of it. I love all of that side of it. But yeah,
I love watching them, and I've seen Preston on Instagram. I spend more time on Instagram. I don't know if it's a thing where you sit down on the jacks and you look at Instagram, next thing you know it's Wednesday and you sat down on Sunday. It's like, where did the days go? Why are my legs dead? But anyway, I've seen him mainly on Instagram, and he's funny. I do like him as well. And as he's saying, you know, just picking up the phone and going for it. Like, there's another one. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Jesse. Can't pronounce his surname, and it's I Want Answers. So he'll have to kind of, you know, the squeaky music in the day. Or today is the one day. There was one day where your mother pictured for the last time, and you know, then he does this reaction. He's like, you know, it's shocked when he says it out loud, like, but he's brilliant at it, and he puts on this real deep voice, and it's like, oh my god. But then when you see him doing his lives, his voice isn't as deep, and he's like, you know, effing and blinding, and he's like, and he's like us, and you're like, you know, it's just, but that's something I've never seen anybody do, and that's why he sticks out, you know. And I would have never have found him if it wasn't for TikTok.
Yeah, and you know, you touched on it earlier about letting your character come to life, and I think definitely, Si, like you're such a colourful character. I mean, I've seen the things you do when people donate in your chat, and the noises. Like, I genuinely think like you have it there. It's just a case of like throwing yourself into it and finding your place, like almost recreating yourself for that TikTok audience. But yeah, I definitely think it's there if you want to do it. But it's that the one thing I would see is that you can probably build your community so much quicker than you have elsewhere, because we talked about this. I think, I don't know if it was when I was on your stream or when I was on London Calling with you, and I think it was Greg asked the question around like, why do we build it? But it's because that follow button is right there. People see something funny and they do it, they hit the button. And if you're live on TikTok, as I say, they push your video out, it tells you, you'll see the little icon to see that person is live, and to join the live, when you hit the button, you also follow them. So people kind of, they know what they're doing in TikTok world. But yeah, I just think throw yourself into it, give yourself like even 30 days, get that live function, which is 1,000 followers, and you kind of almost reset from there and go again. But it'll give you so much insight into it.
I'm halfway there, so I think you're right. I do need the problem with me is I'm not as consistent as I used to be, because the kids are in school and all that. But I do need to allocate. I need to get better because I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I don't go out to work anymore. Whereas you used to go to work, you get up at a certain time, your train's at a certain time, you have your lunch at a certain time, you know, and there was structured. Now it's like, well, I know the kid, I have to collect the kids, I have to do the lunch, I have to blah blah. The in between time I use to catch up on TV and movies, and I'm not ashamed of it either, because there's loads of stuff that I haven't seen. Like, I've caught up on the X-Files, which is like from the 90s, But I was saying to Lorraine, like, the last 2 seasons I never saw because I don't know. It could have been at the time where I turned a certain age and went out drinking with the lads, or
Yes.
whatever, and you lose those kind of things. But yeah, I need to get. I have a plan book, so I have a black book. There's no phone numbers in it. It's just ideas, and I keep filling that up of different things, and I just wait to implement them.
Here's a couple of tips for you. Totally get it, because what will happen with TikTok is you'll be out somewhere and you'll flick through TikTok, or you just don't have the time to make something there, and you'll see a video and you go, I can do that, or I can use that. Or somebody will comment, especially as you start to build momentum, somebody will comment and you think, rather than type in a response, that's a really good video that's a really good question for me to respond to in a video. So I've done a couple of videos the last couple of days where people have said, show me your Mandalorians. Honestly, see Boba Fett isn't a Mandalorian, which is true.
Probably a euphemism, but go on.
Just honestly, see Boba Fett isn't a Mandalorian. You see something slightly controversial, which it is true, it's canon, and then all of a sudden it blows up and then you go from there. But using any comments that you can respond to with a video instead of typing the response. Just what I do is I hit the reply button, point it at something and record 5 seconds and then save it as a draft. Then I go back to it when I know I want to film it. And then I start again, delete what I've recorded and start again and go from there. And then you kind of think, and you'll see the question and you think, aha, like that's what I was going to answer. Another one, if you hold the video, it'll come up with like, do you want to report the video, but you can favorite it, and then it goes into your favorites. Some people save the sound, but what I end up doing is if I save the sound, I forget the context of the sound. So I save the video, then I go to my favorited videos, and then you hit the sound button, and then it's like record a video directly from the sound. So there's a couple of things you can do there, and it just kind of, and then I have loads of drafts saved, and then I'll either build on them or I try and film as many as I can at any given time and then drop them through the day. But then also I have just loads of favorited videos that are sounds that I've seen or ideas that I've seen that I thought I can do something with that. And then I come back to them when I'm inspired and then go from there.
Good tips. Because I do have sounds. Because I do have sounds saved, and what I'm afraid of is I'll have 50 of them and go, "What was that? What was I used for again?" But and then there's the trend sounds. I don't want to like have them. I know some of them are really good, like the like the one that a lot of people did. The "I love you to infinity," where it's like the lightsaber comes out, or the ring light. We had a topless Liam doing that one stage. Yes, but there's so many cool things, and you can put your Lego thing on loads of these things. There's so many of them I see, and I go, "Oh my god, I could do that with Lego." And just, the minifig who says the legendary Cy O'Connor super chat dance. Yes, if you join my live stream on Thursday, you might see that happening. Just throw money my way. And Greg says that's why we love him. Who?
Yeah, he dances for money, basically. So
Tina Turner.
What I would say is Spawn is a fantastic supporter of the Lego, certainly TikTok community, but I know Spawn, you love Lego YouTube more. You were one of the people that encouraged me to come over and give this a shot. So thank you for that. But yeah, he's a big part of the community, although he doesn't create. However, we do have a theory, right? So we know nothing about Spawn other than their name, and they're from Denmark. And what Spawn is super generous with donations in TikTok, in Lego TikTok, to the point where I have a theory that, and it's quite widely shared now, that Spawn isn't actually a person. They are like a bit of a dummy account that is used by the Lego Corporation or the Lego company to come into Lego TikTok to drip feed us just a couple of pennies here and there that makes us feel better about ourselves. And then kind of we take that 20 pence, 50 pence to put towards £100 Lego set. That Lego then instantly get that money back, and it's a bit of a cycle. So I still think that's true. And that was fortified, that theory, when Spawn did their one and only video at the time of them building the Bad Batch shuttle 2 months early, and they never explained why. Yeah, nobody had it. Even the land guys didn't have it, and Spawn, who had no reason to have it, was out there, and you know that Spawn. So yeah, but
That's
keep an eye
awesome.
out for Spawn. If nothing else, they're a great collector, and they have some serious Lego knowledge as well. So definitely worth keeping an eye. And if you're not familiar with the Spawn character, Spawn, I don't know if you can you remember the 90s film of Spawn?
Oh, I have it on DVD. It's not even on Blu-ray. It's on DVD, and I have the soundtrack. There you go. The soundtrack, people.
Who has a soundtrack? That's impressive.
That must be rare, actually. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great guy. But
I think that came out near the time Blade came out as well, didn't it?
Yes.
I got Blade soundtrack and the Spawn soundtrack around the same time as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I didn't realize I think are they a DC character? Might be wrong about that, but good character.
Blade is Marvel.
Sorry, no, I'm Spawn.
Spawn. I can't remember.
Yeah. But
maybe Spawn will tell us.
Maybe they will. Maybe they will. Spawn, if you know. I'm sure you will know. But yeah, they're a good host. But guys, we've overrun a little bit, but it's cool. We do that from time to time. We'll start wrapping up, but if you've got any final questions for Si, please drop them in now, and or myself, and we'll seek to answer them. Si, one thing I will say is where is your link tree? Because in the comments below, I've in the details below, I've listed your TikTok, your Instagram, and your YouTube channel. So the links are all there for people. Why don't you have a link tree or a beacons so that it's just one single link?
I have beacons. I usually link it. It's usually in the description of the live streams I do. Linktree I only discovered a few weeks ago because I saw you, or I think it was your one I saw. Didn't know it was a thing until, and now I see it everywhere, and everyone seems to have a Linktree. So it's something I have to set up. The person who runs beacons sent me an email asking me why I don't do anything with it, and I said, well, everyone told me to get beacons, and I'm still playing with it. So I thought that was scary and fun at the same time to get an email from them. Who knew?
Was it like an email where a mass email, or was it specifically to you as like Si?
Oh no, he's yes. Hey Si, I noticed you set up a beacons account. Just wondering why you haven't used it. Is there anything I can help you with? And I was like, no. My friends just told me I should get one, and I got one, and I don't know what to do with it. And they were like, oh, okay, do you need any help? I was like, I got all shy. I was like, oh no, it's fine. But I tell you, the first person I saw with beacons was Lego TikToker Jessie with glasses, a girl, a female.
Mini Cool Jessie, yeah.
Yes, yeah, she was the first person I saw with it.
Who this week, by the way, received a UCS Millennium Falcon from her Amazon wishlist.
I saw the start of that TikTok video, but I didn't watch it all. That's mental.
It is. I know a little bit of the context behind that as well, whereby the person who supported her and bought her that asked her why it wasn't on there. And she was like, well, because I wouldn't ask for that. And she was like, well, I think you should put it on there. And then he bought it for her. Or I think it was a he. But yeah, crazy.
What am I doing wrong? I have to set one of those things up. It's crazy. Because I saw she had a circle on the thing, and then there was a big package at the door. And I was like, I'll watch this later on. And I forgot to. I was making coffee or something. I forgot to go back to it. Or I refreshed it or something. I said, she's always popping up. I've asked her to come on to the show. She'll be on sometime in January, actually, as well. I've asked a few people from TikTok to come on again. Nice. But so lucky. That's brilliant. That's something that I feel weird doing it. But if people are want to help you out, I mean, it's not a bad thing. People are genuinely generous and want to help people out.
I think it's a European versus American thing. I think even like TikTok donations, I always feel like I have a bit of a standing phrase that I see it, but I'm like, look, I don't need your donations, but it is appreciated and it will be put to good use. I always still feel awkward with that. Whereas the Americans are like, yeah, brilliant, thank you very much. Like, let's keep them going. And I'm like, oh no, that's so weird. But it's just, yeah, it's the world that we live inside now. It's and people are so generous in that. So yeah, it's a weird sensation. But yeah, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. But yes, I've had Jessie on here, and she is a very cool person. So that'll be fun to have her.
Where I discovered her actually on yours. I don't know if we knew each other at the time. And another person who I thought was really entertaining when you had her on was Lisa Bricks 88.
Liza Bricks,
Liza, yeah. Very entertaining. Very entertaining.
So yeah, Liza she's an engineer, which is really good because she's a mock builder. So she kind of has that engineering view. But she had her own stream for a little while with a girl called Brick and Mad. So Maddie, who is a brilliant. The biggest challenge Maddie has is time. Because of her kind of personal life, but she spent a lot of time in Europe. She's basically one of us. She got sent back to she got kicked out of Germany, which she told us on here, so it's public knowledge. She got kicked out of Germany, sent back to America. Then the pandemic happened and hasn't been able to get away since. So, but yeah, she's brilliant. So there are some good, great Lego TikTokers out there. But yeah. So question.
I was just going to say, I'm always telling people that there's a good Lego TikTok community, a good Lego community on TikTok, and I'm always trying to get people to go over, not just to look at mine, to look at everybody, because it's over there and it's thriving and it's good.
Mm-hmm. I think if I had a presence elsewhere, I would be tempted to incorporate TikTok into my presence, just because TikTok they are grafting so hard to capture as much audience as they can. They're throwing money at people left, right, and center. And where we are now is very different to where we were last year. And that's kind of made me think, well, where is TikTok going to be at the end of this year? And I'm going to kind of ride that wave because I've got it to be there. But a question that I've started asking people is, in this environment, so who basically give you the opportunity to nominate a potential guest, because I've kind of started to not exhaust fully, but the people I might or may not know. So who would you like to see kind of on here in this environment?
I would nominate Greg from London Bridge Bricks, but I think he is already going to be coming on soon.
He has been asked, we are just arranging a date.
Yeah. There's a few to say. I don't know. I couldn't pick one. I mean, there'd be Brickstage Pass. He's really cool. He's a mock builder into DC. Then there's Lego Danny Bob. So I mean, it's always good to get more female Lego people on. Yes. So Lego Danny Bob is a good one to get on.
Lego Danny Bob has recently kind of took the step into TikTok, and last I saw was doing really well.
Yeah, exactly. And she's just starting out on YouTube, and she's doing really well, and she's taken off and entertaining and good, does great live streams. There's other people like there's Shy Time is My Time. I can't nominate one. I'm so sorry. There's loads of them. But if you didn't already ask Greg, I'd say Greg. I'd say maybe try Lego Danny Bob. There's another guy who you'd get on well with as well. His name is Tech. He's got a few different channels. I think you met him before, Thomas. He goes by Tech Productions.
Yes,
and he's
been in the chat.
Yeah. So he has a new channel actually. It's focusing on Lego Star Wars only, and that is Tech Planet Tech. So it's Planet Tech.
Nice, indeed.
Yeah, so there's a few. I'm actually the main person, the talent person. I'm a talent scout for the Stud Buds, apparently. So they want me to look.
Are you like like a talent agent for them? Do you get like a fine for spin?
Yeah. Brad sent me a message, and it went along the lines of, "Can you help? We're looking for someone regularly to come on to be on the show." And I knew what he meant. But he came back to him and said, "Oh, I hope you don't think you're going to be a member of the main cast. It's not what I meant." And I was like, "No, don't worry. I knew what you were saying. But if you didn't read it properly, you'd be thinking to yourself, I'm a stud bud." But yes, I gave him some names as well.
Nice indeed. Well, I'm pretty full now until end of it's great this because of doing the one-on-one, you're not kind of like depleting the community pretty well. And I'm starting to look at kind of phase 2. So kind of once a month, I'm going to do a group chat relevant to like a topic rather than kind of this. So bless you. So I'm just kind of like figuring that out. So we'll move forward from there. But it is nice because then the more people I speak to, the more people I'm introduced to, that as people bring their own followers across to watch them, then people kind of get involved. And then I kind of link up and move on that way. So it's really cool. I really enjoy it. So it's good in that respect.
Well, the one thing that I found helped me to kind of get noticed was I join everybody's live streams and chat like mad everywhere. It doesn't matter if they've got 6 subscribers and 3 people watching, or 100,000 subscribers and 1,000 watching. If I like the person, I'll stick around. It doesn't matter if they're big YouTuber, small YouTuber. I don't care whatsoever, to be honest. But I chat to everybody, and that's how I met Greg, and that's how I met all the people that I get on the show. And then they come and they watch your live stream like yours. It gives you exposure. And then, you see them and then you just say, hey, fancy coming on my live stream? And they go, hey, I thought you'd never ask.
It's so true, though. I mean, that's true of TikTok, getting in people's lives, interacting with people. The difficult thing is on TikTok, though, because it's so accessible. If you're going for like a bigger creator, the live is just like that, and your comments just get lost. It's a bit of a look, but using things like duets and stitches is really good as well, because like people, like if you stitch one of my videos, I would see that, and people tend to watch it and be like, I'm interested to see what you've done with that. And if they like it, it's all pretty cool in that respect. So yeah, I think interacting and getting into people's lives, and that's where I do think the Lego TikTok community is brilliant, because it's so, like, again, for me, and it's horses for courses, but I'm all like, when I open my phone and I'm a bit bored, whether I'm sat somewhere or if I'm on the toilet or whatever, the first app that I load up is always TikTok. And if people are there, I'm sat typing away. Whereas YouTube is more like, if I'm going to go on YouTube and watch somebody, I'm like, right, okay, I've got half an hour, so I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch somebody. And it's just a bit more of a conscious effort in that respect. So that's where I struggle. But
I mean, the live streams on TikTok, as I was saying, like, are crazy. There was a guy. Some of them are so bonkers, they're hypnotic. You find yourself watching them. There was a guy literally somebody was in the room and they were playing Guitar Hero, and this guy was just moshing to it, and he had 4,500 people watching, and he was just moshing. There was nothing, no content, just. And I was like, oh my God, 4,500 people watching, and he was getting all these animations and everything else, and he was like, I've never seen this animation before. And I was like, he must have made a fortune.
100%. And then the way that TikTok works as well is the more donations you get, the more of a cut, because it's not you get. So if you're live and I want to donate to you, I don't donate £1 or €1. I buy diamonds, and then I donate the diamonds, then you convert the diamonds back into euros. But there's no kind of hard conversion rate. It's all about you. So the more money that you're generating, the better cut that TikTok will give you, because they want to keep you there. But if you're not live as much, they kind of like give you less. So it's that encouragement to go live a bit more. But for those guys, they'll be getting a hell of a cut.
Do they take much money? Do TikTok take much money from it?
Yeah. More than half. The best
to YouTube.
The best conversion rate I've ever got is probably about 60%, and it was probably about this time last year, the first quarter of last year. And I bought, when I got the Cantina, I was basically going live because the Cantina was 18 bags, so I split it down into 6 live builds of 3 bags each. And I timed it all out and scheduled all these lives, and I was doing really well with them. And I got a really good cut then. And then it was probably after that when I started to fade away a little bit from the lives. But yeah, they do take a decent cut.
And do they have a specific time of the month to pay you? Like YouTube will pay you once you have, if you make 70 euros, so what could be like £60. If you make €70, that's the cutoff, and they'll pay you once you hit that and whatever else you get. So like if you don't make anything, if you make 20 euros and you're at 20 euros for 3 months, you don't get anything until you reach the 70. Is it the same
Right.
with TikTok?
No, so you get two different types of payments. You get the creator fund and live gifts. So for live gifts, you just have to get up to $10. Once your wallet hits $10, you can withdraw. That might have even been reduced now. For the creator fund, so the day that you sign up to the creator fund, that is your like cut-off day. So what then happens is so like let's say it was today, you were to sign up, then on the 16th of next month, you would almost get like a bit of a statement that says like that's how much money's gone into your pot. Then you can choose to withdraw it, or you can just let it accumulate up. I tend to just let it accumulate up and then be like, as I see it, just let everything kind of build up, because it's only pennies. But then like every day I'm averaging about 50-60p a day. But if you let that accumulate up over like 3-4 months, even 6 months, you then end up with quite a decent little pot. So and it all adds up. But then like the odd video might do really well, and then you get a big bumper from like one video doing really well. So yeah, but again, with the creator fund, there is no hard science or formula to what they will pay you. So it's not like you can sit there and say, right, okay, I've got this video, it's done this many views, I'm going to get this amount of money for it. It's absolutely, you just sit there, and the amount of times when you think, oh, I've done well here, and then it's like, yeah, you made 70p. Like, what? How? But yeah, but no, but but if you take it all as bonus, then it's good in that respect. But yeah, Si, it has been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. Obviously, we spoke before a couple of times, but it's absolute pleasure to speak to you, and I feel like I've learned so much. I hope the people watching, because we've got a lot of people who are aspiring to kind of do more on YouTube, and then likewise there are people who the question I'm always asked is about like how to grow TikTok, and it's difficult. So it's nice to do it through conversation rather than just through a download. And then you're kind of in their similar shoes, so you get asked the questions that they would ask. So brilliant to do that in that sense. Ran over by half an hour, but who the hell cares? It's Sunday night. It's January.
Cares?
What is that? Tomorrow's Blue Monday apparently. So what is there to even get up for? But
what does that even mean? No one asked what my favorites. Well, no one asked what my favorite set is. It's something you always get asked when you're a creator. My favorite set of the moment is this desert skiff with all the boys on board. It's old.
The value of that 2013 set as well, I must add, the golden age of Lego, but the value of that set for the figs you get at it is unbelievable.
Yeah, and you get a Sarlacc. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, I love this
Sarlacc as well, because there are 3 Sarlaccs. There are 3 Sarlaccs, and I think that's the best one.
Me too, yeah. I didn't get the kind of older but the newest Desert Skiff because I had this one, and it's so simple, but it is so iconic, and looking at that's a Desert Skiff.
Mm-hmm.
And you get Lando Calrissian in disguise as well, which is pretty cool.
It's a great way. Yes, that Lando fig. I don't know how that Lando fig is not worth more money, because that's the only set it ever came in. But it's a great and cheap way of getting a good Boba Fett fig, because that is a good Boba Fett fig.
Isn't it really nice? Yeah, one of my favorites. So yes, I had fun, and it was a great stream. Thank you so much for inviting me. You're a legend, and I hope that you do even better than you're doing everywhere on all the platforms. And I hope you come back onto my show eventually again pretty soon.
Just let me know when, and I'll be more than happy to come on side. But yes, to everyone, whether you're watching live or you're watching this back, as I said, Si's links are below to his YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Si, as I say, when you're ready to rumble in TikTok, let me know. I'll get behind you. Obviously you've got some good friends on Lego TikTok. We'll get behind you. We'll kind of monitor you. We'll give you a push and give you everything we do, get you to that 1,000 followers. And then it becomes so much easier when you can go live, and we will get you from there. But look forward to it. To everybody else, have a pleasant rest of your day, evening, whatever it may be for you in the world. Have a great week. do intend on doing a TikTok live build this week. I think I'm going to build the Carnage helmet because it's a 3-hour set. I built the Infinity Gauntlet and had to put it obviously in the middle finger position because that's what you do.
Exactly.
So, and actually on Blue Monday, so Blue Monday is apparently the most depressing day of the year because it's that point where you're too far away from Christmas to have any lasting memories of it. And then it's a week or two before payday. So everybody's just a bit like, meh, like everybody's given up on the diets and just like, it's meh. So I think on my Instagram in the morning, that exact image will be on my Instagram, the middle finger, like Blue Monday feels.
I know we're going home right now, but our Christmas tree is still up, so we still remember Christmas. Diet, FU, we're still eating crisps at night and drinking Coca-Cola. And
I mean, I'm sat here with a white chocolate cheesecake. So
exactly. Live your life. Don't save your money. Spend it. You don't want to die rich. And I'm getting my booster tomorrow, so maybe I'll feel a bit blue tomorrow. So yeah. Okay. Bye, everybody. We're gonna go. We promise. I'm dying for a wee anyway.
As am I. Thank you, everyone.
I don't want to use this.
No, we definitely don't want to see that. Peace, love, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye, everybody. Take care. Hey, you kicked me out. Hello.
Instead of ending the live, I left the studio. First time I've ever done that. Never mind. What a great live. See you, everyone.